Now. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This is going to be a lot of fun. I want to give a big shout out to Loretta and the Working Forest for doing this. This has been a lot of work behind the scenes, putting together all the Zoom meetings, all the technical stuff. So a big shout out to Loretta and her team. Thank you to yesterday's guest, Denise. Holy smokes, that was awesome. I called Denise after and chatted with her about connecting Kofi with her story and sharing that story, because she talked a lot about great things, you guys, about the privilege you guys had to hearing her personal story behind a lot of our jobs, because a lot of people think jobs are, hey, you go in, you punch in at 8 o'clock, you punch out at 4, and that's it. You don't. These jobs in our industry, Denise talked about family. We're family and friends. I talked with a forester yesterday. We did some business and we caught up with each other. She talked about being adaptable, being able to be flexible in our industry to do different things. And the thing I loved, again, as a teacher, because I'm a teacher, never stop learning. Never stop saying yes to trying something new, whether it's learning how to change a tire, how to use a clinometer, how to run a piece of equipment. Never stop. So that's really good. I'm really excited too. You see up in my right-hand corner is Sophia, and she's from Fleming College. She's going to talk to you guys and share her story and kind of where she's been going on her career in forestry. So without ado, I'm going to start my presentation. I'm going to ask Phil to bring up the presentation, please. And we'll get going. Now, I see also, I want to remind you guys, okay, some people are, a lot of times, especially in Zoom, we get really shy. I have my big Bernese mountain dog sitting here hanging out with me today. We have the chat room. If you hear something, have a question, throw it in the chat room. It's no big deal. We'll try to answer it. I will try to answer it. We have a variety of people on this call today with infinite amount of wisdom and experience and have gone through life and learning. Some are beginning their careers, some are near the end of their careers. So there's lots of things to do. So again, I work for the BC Council of Forest Industries, COFI for short. I live here in Prince George, British Columbia, but I grew up in Burlington, Ontario. I went to high school there, all my schooling. I went to Windsor, Ontario. I almost went to Lakehead for PE. And I'll tell you, you guys, I knew nothing about the forest industry when I was in high school. Okay, knew nothing about what I was going to do. My goal as a high school student was to be a rock star or a professional hockey player. And as my kids say, Dad, you can't play guitar and you suck in hockey. So that never transpired. So I had to start thinking. And one thing I've said, I've got 3 kids, and I've said to them, so the students that are sitting in the classroom, here's a suggestion. Take out a piece of paper, a notebook, something you can scribble down, and you just write your name. And then you start writing down all the things you like doing. Okay. So for myself, I like snowboarding. I like being outside. I like people. I like a lot of variety. I like changing things all the time. I can't sit still for very long. Okay. What I don't like writing. I don't like reading books and long books and data and policies and things like that. And you start figuring out, because when I go through this presentation, I hope you can see in our industry, there is literally a job for almost every personality that is out there. There are so many jobs, and people think when you think of the forest industry, you think of logging, the people out there working, cutting the trees down, a lumberjack sort of say. They think of truckers, bringing the logs into the mill, and mill workers. But before we can even log, we need foresters. So I'm going to share with you all the themes. I'm going to be really quick. Please, again, ask any questions. And Phil, if you could advance the slides, please. Thank you. Now, Kofi is a nonprofit organization, and these are our members. Okay, we have Carrier Lumber. West Fraser is a global member. Canfor is another one. Brink is a small company. The gentleman is John Brink. He immigrated to Canada, came here, I think, with a few dollars in his pocket and built this company. We have St. Clair Group. That's another family-run business. Another one, which I'm related to, is Dunkley Lumber. And that was a brother, one of the brothers came across from Slovenia. He started a logging company, sponsored his brothers. They came and they got together and they bought Dunkley Lumber and grew it to be just an amazing company. Very, very efficient. So we have all these companies throughout BC and North America. So they sponsor and support the program. If we can advance again, Phil, that'd be great. So back to that little piece of paper, I should write your name down. And this is even for people sitting there right now. Maybe you're thinking about doing something different. I've changed careers. So like I said, when I left at 19, I went into school to be a PE teacher. I changed. I was going to be a police officer. I changed. And then I became a history teacher. I have roofed. I have landscaped. I've done telemarketing. I've been a cook. I logged, I tree planted, and I've worked in a sawmill. And at the same time, I was a professional teacher. So start writing down, what do you want to do? We've asked our kids that. I've got a 19-year-old right now who wants to be electrical engineer. So we said, what do you want to do, Ethan? Well, I want to be electrical engineer. And we started working and helping them. Our daughter, Marin, is 16. She's not sure. She might be a teacher. She might get into art. She's still trying to figure that out. And that's normal. Okay, so don't worry if you don't have the answers. I'm just going to maybe plant some seeds with you today. So if we can advance again, please. So this is a little mosaic of all the different jobs out there. Take a moment just to look at them. Okay, now because we're pressed for time, I can't go into it. If you have a question about one of those jobs on there, put it in the chat room and maybe we can talk after. I can stick around for a bit. You got a forest technologist. They're a forester, but a 2-year program. You got a registered professional forester. Those are a 4-year university program. IT, saw filer, on and on. All the different heavy duty mechanic, millwrights, talent acquisition. People ask me, kids ask me, what's talent acquisition? Well, our companies now put together teams to go look for employees, and they're looking for the right people, the right characteristics. You can't put me, okay, high school teacher, into the accounting program. Everybody's going to get a raise if that's happening. You don't want that. Okay, you don't put me as a saw filer. I don't have the technical and the trade skill to do that. So they are looking for people, communications manager, art directors, graphic artists, on and on. Even social media, we now have members who are social media personnel. So if we keep going, Phil, that'd be great. Thank you. So the wonderful thing about working in the forest industry here for me in Prince George and British Columbia, it's where I live. I have a green belt. I'm living in the forest. It's where I work, and it is where my family and I play. We snowboard, we mountain bike, we go camping, fishing, paddle boarding, hiking and walking, and it's all part of together. They're not separate things. Okay, so it's really cool for that for me. Keep going, please. So really quickly, these are the big themes the forest industry hires in. Woodlands, we have foresters, biologists, fisheries, wildlife, archaeologists, people that dig up the ground looking for artifacts, finding culturally modified trees, and then we got to change our permits and our policies on how we're going to log the area, consultants, tree planting, wildfire. Okay, remember, like I said, I was 19, I lost work because there was a recession in Ontario. I was a roofer, so I came out tree planting. I tree planted for 8 years, and in that time, I got to do some wildfire fighting. That was really cool. And I made a good living. I made enough money to pay for myself to go to school debt-free. That was really good. You also have logging and trucking. All those years tree planting, I had never seen a logging operation until I went out with a parent who owned a logging company, and I went logging with them and learned about a feller buncher, a harvester, forwarder. Now, some of these words, these machines might be completely foreign to you. The feller buncher is the one that goes in and pulls down the tree. It cuts the tree. Harvester takes the limbs off the tree and sometimes cuts it to length and so forth. So again, just shout in the chat room if you have a question. Then the trades. Electricians, saw filers, millwrights. Millwrights are the jack of all trades. Okay, they can fix anything. They're the ones you want to help with your chainsaw, your snow blower. They get lots of extra side work. heavy duty mechanics, a machinist, pipe fitters. If you're in your school, look up in your room and you'll see them in the gym, all the pipes with the sprinklers. We have tradespeople that put that and cover all those pipes in our mills to keep our people safe. In our pulp mills, they are running pipes and chemicals through their pipes, and they need to be safe. They build them. They even make them, some of the fiberglass pipes. Welders and instrument technicians, mill operations. These are the people that are running the mill, sitting in the booths, operating all the equipment that goes on, and so forth. Then administration. And for every job theme I just talked about right now, there are just as many jobs in our administration: the executive, the presidents, the vice presidents, communications. I'm on a communications team, and we're a small little company, and we're 5 people. One is just a writer. If there's a person sitting around loves writing, you could be working in our forest industry, editing, proofreading, checking, releasing information and press releases, and that could be your job. Finance, we have a finance team, payroll, accounts receivable, okay? Directors of finance, controllers, graphic designs. This presentation was helped put together by Shannon in our office, who's does all the graphic designing, the web designing, video editing, sales, marketing, engineering, on and on. The jobs are there. So back to that piece of paper. Why did I ask you to write what you like doing? Because it helps you narrow down. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to work in our industry. Okay, so if we could advance, please. I'm going to go through each kind of theme really quickly and show pictures. I'm a picture person, you know. There's tree planting. Now I'll give you, looking at that tree planting, you might go, oh, that looks like a great summer job. I can do that when I graduate. That is a beautiful day. There's no bugs. The sun is shining. The trees look like they're going in nice. The grass isn't too high. Okay, it's not always like that. It's raining. It's cold. It's hard work and everything, but it pays well. And you can go to school doing it. There's forest firefighting. This looks really cool. Same thing. There are cool aspects about it, but it is also work. They are in physical shape to do that kind of work. There's the biologist in the middle. Helicopter pilots. You know, the forest industry has helicopter pilots. If you're thinking, maybe I want to be a pilot. Drone operators. Up in the right-hand corner, there's a fish biologist. In the middle, an archaeologist. We have a program that students get to learn how to do these things and get a snapshot of what it's like to work in the industry, and timber cruising. And right now I'm going to pause. Okay, enough of me. I'm going to now pass on to Sophia, and she's going to talk about kind of urban forestry and her life experiences and what she's doing. Because I said to her, tell them, how did you get to where you got? You know, Denise talked about that yesterday, being adaptable, being willing to say, can I try something? I want to go after that. Let me see what that's like. Okay, because you never know where your path is going to take you. You might want to be in the director of finance, and all of a sudden we have a forester who's an accountant, who's vice president of forestry at Kofi. So with that, here's Sophia. She's going to share with you. We can open up Sophia's screen. All right, Sophia.
Hi. So like Jim said, my name is Sophia. I'm a Fleming College student, and Fleming College is located opposite side of the country, so not in BC, but it's in Ontario. And the campus that I go to specifically is Natural Resources and Environmental Sciences. And so kind of how I got there was, it was quite random. I in high school wanted to be a firefighter, and I wasn't really sure how to get to there. So I was kind of juggling between doing either recreation and leisure or doing personal fitness. And so I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. And while I was at the Peterborough campus at Fleming, on my way out, I saw that there was a booth for environmental and natural resource sciences. And so I just grabbed a pamphlet and I was like, this looks interesting. And so I decided to do the Earth Resources program, which is more towards geology and hydrogeology and rocks and minerals and stuff like that. And I decided that that wasn't really for me. So then I ended up switching into the environmental technician program, which is more towards water, also a little bit of hydrogeology, water treatment, wastewater treatment. And so I really enjoyed doing that program. It was like half field work, half being in a lab. But then still, I graduated that program. It was a diploma program. And I still was like, I don't know what I want to do. And so I ended up I heard about the arboriculture program because it's also at the same campus. And arboriculture, with that, you become a climbing arborist. And so the first semester was basic and advanced tree climbing. And so that's doing any maintenance on trees, doing removals. For the most part, it's learning how to climb and stuff. And then through the summer, you actually get to do a co-op. And so that's the hands-on experience. And that was, it just like, it was an amazing summer. I did it out in Surrey, BC, and I really loved it. And then that program is a certificate. So it was only a year long, which is really nice too, because then you get your certificate and become super employable after only 1 year of your schooling. And I decided that I wanted to learn even more because I was enjoying my studies so much, and I just grew so much love and passion for trees and being outside and working with trees every day. And so I decided from there to then move on to the urban forestry technician program, which is what I'm currently in right now. And I'm in my last semester. Last summer, I went out to BC to work again because I love it out there and I have family out there. But yeah, so with that program, even online, they still manage to make it so much fun. And the teachers and a lot of people that you will come across in this industry are just, they're so passionate about what they do, and they're so good at teaching that as well. And aside from people who are teaching, the ones who are being taught, all the students, all of my friends, once you become a part of the tree family, there's really no going back. It's just, you have so much in common. Just because you love being outside, you can go for walks with everyone, share your experiences and share your stories. And it's just really easy to connect and build so much family and friend relationships. It's amazing. And so I just want to show you guys one of the things that we're working on right now. This is an oak tree that or an oak seed that we planted for our woody plant propagation class. And so this oak is growing now. And so it's amazing that being in school, you get to do these hands-on experiences. In Fleming College, they have a greenhouse at the Lindsay campus. And so if we weren't at home, then we would be doing even more experiments. I also have a couple pine trees that are growing as well. So it's just amazing. And seeing all this growth and stuff, I really know that this is like my passion and I'm in the right direction. And all these decisions leading up, like I changed my program a few times before I found what I really enjoyed doing. And to the point now where I love my studies so much that I'm actually going to the University of New Brunswick for a degree in science of forestry. And so from starting off at the school, I started with Earth Resources program. And I love that. So, or I liked it, but I love the school more. And so I switched into ET, then arboriculture, and then now I'm in urban forestry. So all these pathways led me to the right decision. So really just following what your passion is will get you to where you need to be. And I'm lucky that I'm young enough as well. I didn't do like a million different like transfers of different types of careers and stuff, but I am where I am today, and I absolutely love it. And now I'm going to be on a new journey starting September at the University of New Brunswick. And so I'm super excited for that. Yes, if you guys have any questions about Fleming or any more questions about my experience or anything like that, please just throw it in the chat and I would love to answer any questions.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Sophia. That was, you're hearing now, everyone, the students, the reinforcement about your career path, the importance about just trying different things, asking yourself, what do you like doing? Because, you know, I've done those jobs where you go to it and you get no self-satisfaction from it. You walk away and go, why am I doing this? And like Sophia said, all of a sudden I saw this, I gave it a try. It was the same thing. My buddy came out of his house and I'm talking to him and he's telling me about this job as a forest education manager. And I said to him, if you don't like it, let me know. I want to give this a try. And he didn't. He changed his mind halfway through. I apologize, Sophia, during your talk, I was listening, but I was also chatting to Corey. Corey's going to quickly jump on. It's going to be spontaneous. Okay. Corey is also a Fleming student. He said he's changed his careers multiple times. He's figuring things out. I believe he's a forest tech. So I'm going to he wants to show a map to you guys. I'm going to let him jump on real quick and go. You ready to go, Corey? Right on, buddy. There you go. All yours.
Hey, everybody. I'm Corey Hayes. I'm a forestry technician graduate and also currently a student in the GIS program at Fleming. And I've actually just got a map that I'd like to show you. And this is a a different aspect of forestry as well. This here, I did this as a personal project through the program, and it's essentially analyzing forest resource inventory collected by the MNR for specific habitats. So this one in particular, this would be for deer habitat. And let's see if I can zoom in nicely. So in these areas here, you could find, like I created all of these trails using data available on the OMNR or the Land Information Ontario website. And it's just the ability to create something from data that's collected in forestry. So when it comes to trees, like you have various trees growing in various soils, and you'll have various animals migrating or like sort of going into those specific areas that certain species of trees are in. So it's an entirely different area of forestry looking at habitat, so animals as well. Personally, I'm a hunter as well as just a naturalist. I absolutely love going out and just staring at animals in their natural habitat. So this is one of the things that I absolutely love about being a part of the forestry industry. Being able to look at data that's been collected through forest resource inventories and being able to manipulate that data to determine the locations of various animals that I'd like to go and see. So things like moose, a lot of people, in Southern Ontario have never seen a moose. This is something you'd be able to go and do. You can isolate specific areas that have more likelihood of there being moose than others. So if you sit up on that spot, you might end up seeing a moose feeding in an aquatic area, such as this area down here, the swampy area that's low lying, collecting water. It's right by a nice portage and a trail. You set up shop, moose is more likely going to follow the trail, things like that. The deer in this area, you see the darker green, a nice spot to go and see some deer. We've also got a pink area, which is my accessibility layer, showing how close it is to these habitat areas from trails. So you're not hiking through absolutely ridiculous bush, going up, 50 meters of hills into a raised swamp or something like that. But yeah, this is just another aspect of 4E. It's not all just collect data and cut. It's also isolating these areas to find out what's there and what we need to do to make sure that those animals can always be there.
Corey, can I add something? I was
Absolutely.
I was talking to a forest tech here in Quesnel, Bowen Sly at West Fraser, and I'm talking in a couple days about GIS. And we got talking about it. He said the GIS department is right behind his office. I go, so how much do you use GIS? And he goes, it is embedded in everything they do, everything. He's working with his consultants who are doing the timber cruising, who are going out and assessing with the maps he's created. And he goes, if you are, and what you just said, a forest tech and have the GIS background, boom, you are getting snatched up. Companies are wanting you because of that experience you have, that skill set you have. So that's excellent. Thank you for presenting this. That's a nice big Easter egg you dropped for us today. Thank you. And
Yeah,
looking, sorry, Corey. Yeah. Looking at the
no
chat,
problem. Just saying.
Yeah, looking at the chat room about was it easy to switch? That's a good question. That's a very good question. Anything change can be difficult for people. Some people thrive on it. Some people, like I said, I was teaching for 13 years and I decided to part ways from summer vacations, 9 to 5, evenings off, weekends off, and go work in a sawmill. And it was like, I didn't really think anything of it. Friend told me that, said, wow, that takes courage. I go, no, it was just something I wanted to do. And sometimes it is, but try it. You're young right now. Try everything. Sign up for those career awareness programs your teachers bring into your classroom. Go see what it's like to work in the medical field. See what it's like to be a firefighter, a police officer, a doctor, on and on. Give it a try. Expose yourself to as many things as possible and everything to find out what you like. All right. So how are we doing
You know,
on time?
something I actually kind of want to add to that.
Sure. Laird, go.
One thing too, it's good to change, but also it's kind of hard not to finish something that you started. If you're really close to the end and you feel like your heart's changing, like you really need to go and do something else, finish what you started. It's very important to still have that credential, have that extra bit of, background, so you can say that you finished something. That's very important as well. Being able to say that you finished, you're not just starting and stopping and starting and stopping, because employers will look at that dedication. They'll look at your flexibility and your determination to start and complete something, not just constantly change.
Excellent. Well said. Well said. All right. You can thank you. Phil, can you bring up my presentation again, please? Now, Loretta, are you monitoring the chat room? Are we any extra questions coming up right now?
I think that's pretty well it for now, as far
Right
as
on.
questions in the chat room. Yeah.
Okay, I'll continue on. So as you move on, like a lot of people think, oh, the loggers are the first people on the block into the woods. It's the foresters, the forest techs, the consultants, the archaeologists that lay out everything, planning all the aspects of what we're going to do. And then come the contractors. And this is what I got to do. Up in the top hand corner, I was in the white pickup truck. I was doing data collection. I was walking that road, Corey, that the forest tech laid out, and I was checking to see if it was legit. And there was a couple times I'm going to be 4 kilometers into the bush, and the clouds open up and it rains, and you wearing Carhartts coming back in after 4 clicks of soaking wet. Not a happy camper sometimes, but no, you have a good time. Corey said something to you that was very important, I think. He said, I like hunting. I like watching wildlife. I like being outdoors. Remember that list I asked you to write down? Those were his passions. He likes doing that. I like doing that too. I like running a big truck. I like a lot of variety. And the job I had out in the bush had a lot of variety because I got to sit in one of these machines. And I ran a machine for a little while and I lasted about 45 minutes. And then I was like, nope, this is not for me. I have a former student who's a logging truck operator. I asked his mom, why does he like it? He doesn't have to talk to a lot of people. He's by himself. He enjoys running that truck and he's happy. He loves it because in school, he didn't like it that much. He didn't want to go off to university or college. He wanted to follow his dad and be a logging truck operator. Chainsaw, logger in the middle, okay? These people are generally really physically fit. I have a friend who's a professional freestyle skier. He skis all over the world. And him and his brother log in the summer months. And I asked him, Riley, why are you doing this? You don't need the money. I love it. It's the physical activity. It's the adrenaline. It's hiking up a mountain. It's being outdoors. At the end of the day, I got my fly rod and we scout out rivers to go fishing. So again, it's following that little piece of paper of what you like doing. What is your passion? Okay. So continuing on, Phil, please. Thank you. Now we're moving over into the mill. Logs have come into the mill. We have all the tradespeople. Now, I didn't say this at the beginning, okay? I lived in a home many years ago where my father told my little sister she could be a nurse or a mom, okay? We told our 2 sons, you can do anything your sister does. Okay, so we've told Marin, you could be a welder, you could be a heavy duty mechanic, you could run equipment, you could be a vice president, a president, whatever you want to do. As parents, we are doing whatever we can to support her, help her make good decisions and sometimes the wrong decisions, but we're there to help pick her up and keep going. And so same with our 2 boys. So understand this, any job I talk to you about, it's open. There's no button when you climb into a big buncher or a logging truck that says male or female. The equipment doesn't care. It really doesn't. Turn the key, start it up, let's go and run it. And so be more than encouraged to try anything, learn about, ask questions. So these are the trades: electricians, millwrights, saw filers, pipe fitters. These are well-paid positions too. You can make anywhere from 80 to 120,000 a year with overtime, and it's a well-paid job and a good career for you. So continuing on. So now you have mill operations. This is where I worked. I was up in the middle here. I was a supervisor and I ran cleanup and cleaned the mill, ran the equipment, learned how to do everything. And again, anybody can do these jobs. Now, I'll be honest with you, everybody starts in cleanup. You all start in cleanup. You're working, you're making anywhere from $25 to $30 an hour. You're working the graveyard shift, or they call it the early morning shift now, and everything. And it's hard work. It's physical work. And when a position moves and someone leaves or transitions out, you have an opportunity to move up into another spot on the production. Now, let me also explain to you, our generation of employees, our workers, are getting older. We are seeing massive amounts of retirement. Now, you're not going to get jobs in every spot you want to go, but we're seeing it all across the province, where up north, there's vacancies, down south, all over the place. Vanderhoof right now is busting at trying to get employees to come to their mills and work there, because they're seeing massive amounts of retirement. Because again, like, look, I don't look 50, but I am. I'm going to retire in 10 years or so. So there's going to be a job opening. There's someone sitting there going, hey, I might want to be a teacher and become the forest education manager one day. These positions are coming up for you. So continuing on, Phil, please. So again, mill operations, you could be QC, quality control. Here in the middle, he's looking at the screen. He's ensuring that the equipment, the machines are cutting the wood away the computer is telling them to cut it. You could be in a booth operation. You could be on a log stacker out in the yard. This is a hard one. This person, our mill had been there, I believe, over 40 years. And he had at least been running that machine for 30 years. It was more or less his machine. A forklift operator, supplies, parts and services, providing shipping and receiving. You bring in the parts, you then requisition them out to all the different jobs that go in, and that's what she does. My brother-in-law does that. He's the chief purchaser for one of our members. Continuing on, please. And finally, administration work. For every job I said to you that is on the woodland side, the mill side, there are jobs in the administration, from office executives, office managers, directors of finance, graphic artists, policies, communications, forestry, on and on, directors of finance, forest education, teachers, safety officers, even swag. The people who are buying all the product with the corporate logo. Some of our companies are so big that they have people doing that. Talent acquisition, learning, education, on and on. Start thinking to yourself what you like doing, and there are jobs there. Another thing you might hear is the greenest workforce .ca, I think it is, or .com. And they're a great website to look at. Yes, it's called the greenestworkforce.ca. You go there and you can start looking at the different jobs. It will direct you on what schools are offering the education, what kind of salary you're going to have, and kind of what the job is about. And then companies that are looking right there. They've got postings up there. I know West Fraser is always in there. So these are opportunities for you in the administration. And we have people that have never been in the bush, don't want to work in the bush, don't want to get their hands dirty, but are essential to our whole operations. Sales, who's the one in the room, in that classroom, who loves talking to everybody, is friendly, has an easygoing nature, can talk to the first person walking in? That could be a salesperson working for our companies. And you think about it, we are in the sales of millions and billions of dollars around the world. So there's big teams in some of our companies that do sales. IT, who are the computer people in the class, love working on the networks, the computers, the printers, all the interfaces that are going on. Think of what you have in your school. Most schools I go to, the Wi-Fi is horrible. The Wi-Fi in our mills are good. because they are spending money on the infrastructure and they need it to work. So there's an opportunity to working with state-of-the-art technology. All right, everyone. I think I got one more slide. Oh, nope, just showing you pictures of opportunities to work in the forest industry. This could be you. Take that young lady, and that could be you climbing into that logging truck and running it. Continue on, please. This one, this is important. The two ladies, young ladies on my right side, they were two grade 12 students that visited our workshop, and they asked for a job everywhere they went. Every mill they went into those 2 days, they asked the HR department for the job. They all said, no, you need to have grade 12. You need to have some kind of certification. You need to have a degree, a trades, until they got to the nursery here in Prince George, and they got hired as temporary workers. They went from making about $12 an hour to making close to, I think it was 18 bucks an hour working out at the tree nursery. The young lady in the middle, her name is Morgan. She had no idea what she wanted to do when she came into our event, our trades and tech event. She got to do millwright, welding, electrical, pipe fitting, all these things. Got into the vehicle. Her mom said to me that when she got in at the end of the day, she knew what she wanted to do. She wanted to become a welder. She is now a level 2 certified welder. She is a scholarship winner. She applied for our scholarships. She graduated last year from high school and has been transitioning into the workforce, has been working and has worked at that mill that she's visiting right now. So she's making her way into a career in the forest industry. Continue on, please. Finally, this is Stephanie. Stephanie is a former student of mine. I taught her for 5 years. Corey said it. I like hunting. I like being outdoors. I like wildlife. Stephanie loves fishing, camping, hiking. She did all those things with her parents. Loved doing what she did. So continue on. Oh, I'm going to say goodbye to Sophia. Have a great day. Get back to your classes. Have fun today. Thank you, Sophia. Big hand.
Thank you, Sophia, very much.
Bye. Thank you so much, everyone.
And
I hope you have a good day.
Yes,
Right
thank you,
on.
Sophia.
Thank you. And finally, everybody, you're sitting there in the classroom right now going, okay, now I got to start. I want to go like Sophia, Corey, going off to school. School costs money. Kofi is helping. We are offering scholarships to help young people in their first year, that first transition, when you get out of high school and you only have a couple months to make enough money to pay for school. We want to help you. So you can go to our website to apply. We are also this year offering 3 Indigenous scholarships. So there's an excellent opportunity again to help young people. And it doesn't have to be young. You could be a mature student coming back and wanting to change your careers. Like I said about Bowen. Bowen is a little younger than me, but he changed career midstream. I think he was in his late 30s when he became a forest tech. So there's never know where your future is going to go and your path is going. So I think that's it, Phil. I think one more thank you slide at the end. Yeah. And that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm free to help you out and try to answer them to the best of my ability. That's it, Phil. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, chopper. So,
Excellent.
were there any questions, Loretta? Do you look through?
I think that's a wrap. I think that's it. Thank you ever so much for sharing your passion.
I'm reading something from Jim Waters here. He's saying he works for NY Logger Training, nonprofit. Really great approach. We are experiencing a huge void in getting new people into logging businesses. We'll sort of take away from this. Yeah, it's we are seeing that. Even when you hear about what is called the annual allowable cut being curtailed, the pine beetle has died down and there's less. Literally, we're at the end of it. even with curtailments and fiber shortages, we are still having labor problems because of the mass retirements. We are going through this big trend right now. And Corey, like the only thing I can remember is when my father started teaching in Ontario, it was in the 70s. He could walk into a hotel convention room and pick the contract he wanted to go and teach. When I got into teaching, I had to hustle. I had to be running around the sub. There was no work. And people are saying, why did you get into it? Well, that retirement started hitting and the jobs are there. So you're coming into the industry right now where there's lots of opportunity for foresters and so forth. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody. This was great.
Thank you
Thanks
so
very
much.
much, Jim. That was it was excellent. Thank you.
Very
Right on.
informative. Thanks for sharing. We'd like to encourage everyone to check out the booths on the Working Forest website as well. We have educators and sponsors that would very much appreciate your attendance. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, is everyone gone now? Oh well. Yeah. Thank you, Loretta. You have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Take care. Sweet.
ya.
Thanks very
Thank
much,
you.
Jim.
Thanks
Appreciate
again,
it.
Jim.
Brett, thanks for hey, thank you for your positive, your encouragement. I'm having a blast, you know.
Sweet.
Any chance, and thank you for I was chatting with Corey on the side, just
Yeah, that's
those
great.
spontaneous magic moments that happen, you know.
That's
So it's good.
excellent. You did
Yeah.
well. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for adapting. That's sweet.
Take care,
Thank you.
everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.